What's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful, blah, 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 blah. What's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a beautifully, phenomenally blessed day. I could not say that before, so we're just gonna go with it. And welcome to another video of Topics with Becky. So today is a short video, okay, on grief. But before we get into it, please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. Make sure you check out my channel for more content. There's so much more on there, guys. It's growing every day. Super excited with where we are, and I just want to thank you so very much for your most precious asset, spending your time with me, okay? So, Topics with Becky. Are you guys ready to go down the rabbit hole with me? Let's go. Okay, so grief. I may be making a weekly thing too. I've got a couple of things I want to make episodes in, so a regular topic, narcissists and grief are at the top of my list here. And the reason being is because they're two things that people really shy away from. It's not that people haven't dealt with death. I think a lot of people have dealt with death and they've dealt with the grief of death, but most people don't know how to guide others to deal with it. And they don't know how to be, empathetic towards others, because it hurts so much when we had a death in our family that I don't want to see somebody else deal with that pain, but I also at the same time don't know what to say to that person because no one knew what to say to me. Right? So in grief today, I want to talk to you about the person that you've lost. Or maybe it wasn't a person. Maybe it was an animal. Maybe it was something that you held very dear to your heart. It could even be a thing. And yes, you can grieve over things. You can grieve over animals. You can grieve over people. You can grieve over anything. So I just want you guys to know I am talking about living beings today, and we'll get into the grief of lost things later, but I'm talking about living things today. And so that could be, anything that was living and breathing, or anyone that was living and breathing. One of the easiest ways to overcome grief is to talk to them as though they were still here. When I lost my mother, one of the easiest things that happened for me to overcome the grief, the heartache, the pain that came with losing her, was like my life giver was ripped away from my life. My mom, she was supposed to be here so that she could help me when I got pregnant. She was supposed to be here so that she could see her grandkids. She was supposed to be here. And then she wasn't. And none of those things had happened. And the heartbreak that came with that was so unbearable. And I know it's different for everybody. You might not be close to your mom, or you might not be close to your family, or whatever. You lost a friend, and that's who they were. They were your best friend. But the thing is that I bring up my mom because when my mom passed, I remember asking, what do I do? And I heard it so clearly, talk to me. I felt so crazy at first. I felt like, I felt like somebody was going to call the loony bin and have me committed. I can't make that up. I really was so afraid. Like, even when I was by myself, there are times I would go and I would be by myself and there wouldn't be anybody around, nobody around for a while, right? For a long distance, there wouldn't be anybody around, and I would still keep looking over my shoulder, like, who's listening to me? And it took me so long to realize that the reason I felt like somebody was listening to me is because she was there. She was there waiting for me to speak to her. She was there ready to give me answers. She was there ready to be a part of my life still. And I apologize for getting emotional, and I want you guys to understand that no matter the amount of time that goes by, there's still moments when I still cry my eyes out that she's gone. I still am sad that she's not here anymore. Am I blessed? Yes. I'm blessed every day. Beyond measure. I think that we forget to cry, and we think that it's better for us not to cry, and it's better for us to not feel the loss. And that's so far from the truth. We have to feel it. You know, I remember the first thing that I missed the most when she passed away was that I wasn't going to get a hug from anybody like you get from your mom. And I think that that's something that I have sought for ever since she passed away. And so I remember telling her so much, Mom, I just want a hug from you. And I remember one night, it was a really low day. It was a really low day. I was having a very hard day. And I remember telling her this before I went to bed. And that night, I had a dream about a woman. It wasn't my mother. The energy was so familiar to me. It felt like her, but it didn't look like her. And in my dream, she gave me a hug, and I remember telling her, I was like, I haven't had a hug like this since my mother passed away. And she looked and she said, it's okay, because I'm here now. And I knew it was Mom, but I knew she couldn't show me it was her, because sometimes they can't. Like, sometimes they can't show how we remember them in the dreams, right? And so I bring this up because I want you guys to understand that grief is sometimes the hardest thing that we have to go through. It's not that the person left, it's that they're never coming back physically. If they left and they were to come back, we wouldn't miss them as if that they could never come back. And so I encourage you guys, if you've lost somebody and you're having a hard time grieving, you know, because I ask people, what's the hardest thing about losing a person? And they always say it's loneliness, it's heartbreak, it's feel like a failure, feel like I could have done something more. First of all, there's nothing more that you could have done besides doing what you already did. That's the most that you could ever do. Take some time and talk to this person. Talk to them as though they're still here. When I started to do that, I got so many messages from my mom. And I'm not talking about just audio, right? Like, I'm clairaudient, I'm clairsentient, I'm clairvoyant, okay? There's one more. I can taste things and smell things and do all that. Like, it kind of gets overwhelming, to be honest with you guys. It's not necessarily something I would ever wish upon anybody, but if you have these things, you understand. The visual signs that I would get in the 3D about how she was walking with me almost became... They came immediately, but it was so coincidental that there's no way that I could prove it was coincidence because of how frequently they were coming. And so when it comes to grieving, I just want to bring this up, that just because they've left us in physical form, their energy, it lives on for forever. You know, Einstein proved that we're all energy and the energy lives for forever. So if that's the case, when they pass away, then their energy goes somewhere. It's still here. It's still around us. It's still surrounding us. It's just not what we're used to. this physical realm, this physical world. And so I bring this up because I feel that it's very important. And I know maybe I've mentioned this before, but I think that it doesn't matter how many times I mention it. Part of learning this journey is repetition, and this is something that needs to be repeated. When you're grieving, you really, really need to tell that person or that animal or whatever it is, you need to tell them how you feel. You need to tell them what's on your mind. You know, like, I always hear people regret, well, I never got to say this, or I'm blaming myself because of this, or, you know, whatever it is. You know, my brother passed away, and my mom and my brother had a fight that morning, and my mom blamed herself for forever. She blamed herself. And it's not her fault. It was a morning like any other morning. If he hadn't have passed away that day, she wouldn't have blamed herself for the argument that they'd gotten into. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, we take it so personal when something happens after we've been human. And so I encourage you to remember for just a moment that no matter how things ended between you two, there's always time to make it right, even if they're not here, so that you can talk to them face to face. They're still listening, waiting for you to say whatever it is that you have in your heart to say. So please, please, be brave. Be brave and do that. Say what's in your heart. Say what you feel. Say what you mean. You're going to feel better when you do. And you're going to be amazed at what might happen as they clarify that they've hurt you. You can ask them for a sign. Would you please give me a sign and tell me, show me that you hurt me? And they will. Oh, they will. They will. And when you question, was that the sign? Well, it's probably the sign. Probably the sign. All right. So I'm going to talk more about this in depth. There's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot that goes into grieving. There's a lot that is in overcoming grief. But if you're willing to take the first step, you never know what you might end up being in the end. And if you're healing your broken heart, isn't that worth it? I love you guys. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, set that notification bell down below so you always know when the next video does go live. And until next time, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Until we meet each other again. Peace out. I love y'all. Bye.